Yeah. So what? It's your boy, Bitz and Balls. We are back. Kopping Mechanism. How we doing, people? Please tell your mum, your nan, your gran, and your stepdad we are live. I'm joined by my co-hosts, Vinchi, Steve, Raiyaan, Saint, and Sonny is on his way. Gentlemen, good evening. The pleasantries we have to put to the side because I feel we have to talk about your owner's apology. Saint, I'm going to come to you first, yeah?
Okay.
I listened to the apology, right?
Mm.
And I watched Rant's show as well, and then I went and
Mhm.
watched it again. He doesn't say us
No,
or we or
no.
together or whatever. He says your club, and
Mhm.
then I think to myself, these owners don't see Liverpool, Man United, whatever, as their baby or their club. It's an investment, right?
That's it.
So,
That's
what
it.
was the apology? What did you make of the apology?
Well, I very much kind of second what you said. I picked up on that quickly. I said, "Hmm?" But I didn't have a problem with that. In all honesty, I probably thought that was one of the more realer aspects of the apology because they're right,
Mm,
and we've known that. And so for him to address it as that, I think it would have been more kind of slippery him trying to do the whole us we because we know that like you
Yeah,
said, it's an investment. You know what I mean? Like we aren't your baby. You ain't kind of, do you know what I mean, Arab owners that even watch the game and invest, and do you know what I mean, all of that. You don't have a clue. Like, so I didn't have a problem with that. What I did have a problem with was, generally, I thought the whole thing just smelt like a PR stunt, which I think it
hmm
was. And I felt like certain things he said contradicted his actions. Oh guys, we would have never have done this without the fans. We would never ever, But then you didn't even tell your own employees, brother. You didn't tell the players or the manager. So where did we fit into this? Like it just you got caught. You know the ones where like catching it, like, so your girl's already seen all the texts, like, do you know the ones that you can't, she's already spoken to the chick, she's already spoken to her, like, and you know the ones that she's talking to you, and now you're trying to do, yeah, you know what, I'm just gonna be honest, like, come on, get out of here.
You
Yeah.
know what, Steve, I'll get you to come in here, Steve. But like I thought, look, I said to you before we went live, I said, look, it's gonna happen. If it's not gonna happen now, it's gonna happen. And we all know that football is now a business. It became that when the likes of Roman took over Chelsea when he was offering 50 million for Henri, 100 million for an Orion Vieira. That's fine. And then we also, obviously, hindsight's a good thing, and we didn't see that. I'm getting loads of background, guys. Can everyone go mute for me just real quickly?
yeah.
Just so getting loads of background. Thank you very much. Yeah, and I was just saying that, like, so we knew what it's Vinci. Okay, we knew what Roman was doing. He loves football. We see him at the games and stuff. He's very visible to Chelsea fans. That's why they love him, and obviously the success. With Liverpool, it's weird though. Like, we know what they're like. We know what the owners, but you've had some great success over right now. Was it interesting that he gave that apology, or would you have preferred he didn't?
I think he had to. He had to do that. So I'm not surprised. I'm not surprised about the way that he did it, trying to say it's your club, not my club, to the fans,
Mm-hmm.
because that's the message we've been giving him all week. It's our club, don't mess with it. It was pretty disingenuous, to be honest with you. It was a scripted thing, probably written for PR purposes. They don't love the football club. They don't want to see a parade. They're not going to turn up at Liverpool Town Centre and wave at the team with a trophy on the bus. They're sitting on a club that's generating an 815% profit in terms of their
Mm-hmm.
investment. So this is all about money, and this is the situation. I tweeted earlier on in the week when this broke. Have a look at your owners. Have a look at why they're in your football club, and that is because there's a ceiling you can get to, and Liverpool have reached their ceiling. They're worth £2.5 billion. It's never going to be worth any more. Put it in a European Super League, it's probably worth 3 times that. So it's inevitable at some point in time that football will evolve that way. It was just the underhandedness and the blatant disregard for the fans, and the statement that somebody said the sort of general goodwill of football is secondary to the financial side of football. That was actually a statement from the spokesperson for the Super League. Really tells us a lot, doesn't it? None of these guys, 6 people that sat around the table and agreed to leave, have got yours or mine or anybody's best interests at heart. Not at all. Not interested. They're just in it for themselves. They're just in it for the money. We have to accept that. We have to expect they're going to be like this forever. But to be brutally honest with you, we've had FSG develop the ground, develop the training ground, give us decent players on the pitch. And in return for that, they've got 800% markup on their price. So with all developments and all things like that, it comes at a cost. The cost is they've now reached the point where they're looking for the next quantum leap in terms of the money. So this is coming again, boys, but it will be different next time.
You know what it is, right?
Raiyaan, Vinchi, right? Guys, let's just get into it, right? Let's be honest. Let's just forget this agenda. They're a bunch of criminals. Let's be honest, right? They're a bunch of greedy business. But you know what? Let's keep it PG, yeah. But they are greedy. They are selfish. They just want money. And do you know what, though? A part of me, I said this to Vinci, though. I personally don't blame them in the sense that if I was an investor, okay, and you tell me I can get 150 million for winning the league, and if I win the Champions League, I get 110 million. But if I come to your Super League, I get 350 million a year. As an investor, okay, you're picking the Super League, right? You don't care for fans because you're a 100%. Businessman.
100%. Yeah, you're right. I don't blame them. I blame us.
Can you guys hear me? Okay. Why'd you blame you guys?
Right. Well, I was going to say, Ryan, did you want to go first?
Oh, no, you go first, bro. You go first.
No, bro, I blame us. I blame us as in we didn't allow our infrastructure to be like the Bundesliga. What's actually set on footballing structure. Do you know what I mean? Like having 51% of ownership to the fans.
See, so none of this matter, does that actually matter?
I think it does matter.
No, I'm asking because I don't know it too tough, right? And I've seen it being worded, right? And I'm thinking, listen, if you've got someone, we always say everyone wants a rich guy to come buy the club so he can buy the players, right? And I think the 50-51, but like, we live in the UK where, okay, let's say England, because that's where our clubs are, right? Vinci, I think it's you with the background, by the way, just to let you know.
Really?
Yeah.
But basically what he's saying is mute that.
Yeah. So what I'm trying to say is that, like, help me out here, guys, right? But we all want someone to be rich, look after our club, invest in stuff. Okay, he hasn't invested too tough, okay? But he is a businessman. And I just think to myself, were we surprised at the timing more than surprised at the idea?
Of course, absolutely, yeah. It came out of the blue. It surfaced on Sunday afternoon. By 10 o'clock the night Real Madrid played, it was world news. It happened so quickly. There was so much subterfuge going on in the background with all of those guys. They're sly. You've got to remember these guys are sly. They went away and sat around the table. They had a TV deal. They had revenue coming in from the investors. That everything was done. Everything was boxed off. It was all done under the radar without any regard for the respect of the brands or the badge or the fans that they're supposed to represent.
And that wasn't an idea. You said that, are we surprised of the timing of the idea? That's exactly it. If it was an idea, we'd all be all right. We'd all have a conversation. We'd all chat. Like when the Premier League was the formation of the Premier League. Do you know what I mean? This wasn't an idea, bro. They just went, boom, here it is. This is happening. What? What are you talking about, bro? Like, no.
I thought it was funny. Yeah, because I was just like, And obviously, how Twitter can everyone has their own different breakdown, right? So I was reading it. I was like, okay, but you said this, and then I was reading someone else's thing. I was like, okay, but they said this, and then I thought, let me just go on the TV and go on news, yeah. And I checked the news, and I was just like, you cheeky bastards, you absolute cheeky bastards. They had, guys, I don't think people do. They had TV, like Saint said, they had everything set, like literally. And I'm not gonna lie to you, it's not ballsy. And they, I see the fans going crazy. They don't care about the fans. As soon as fans admit to that, they'll have such an easier life. However, I have to salute Perez in this, yeah? And check this out. He said it with his chest. And he was like, we'll make our own World Cup. We'll make our own Champions League. It doesn't matter. I was just like, whoa. This guy's like just ordered war. What's your guys' thoughts on that?
He's just protecting Real Madrid. They're the verge being bankrupt, aren't they?
That's what I was just about to say. I
was
about to say, seeing his actions and how desperate of a man he seems right now makes me know how bad of a financial state Real Madrid are in. Like when he's just, it's embarrassing now. Like it's actually a bit embarrassing now. It's a bit like, brother, like what's going on? And he's like, I'm like, whoa.
And he was coming out of all kinds of stupidness about like, 18 to 24-year-olds aren't interested in football, and we could even make football matches shorter. Like when I heard that, I was like, oh my days, making football matches shorter. 18 to 24-year-olds not interested in football. I was like, come on, man. But it's weird because
24-year-olds, 24, the demographic he's talking about don't even watch football. They watch Match of the Day. They watch like the highlights on YouTube. You know them ones there, like, and that's what you're gonna base your business model of. That's been around for six. Like, come out of here, man! Like seriously.
See, the thing is, we're saying I'm gonna play DA, right? And like I love watching stuff, and I think it from both sides. He was very bold and confident with this statement. This is, do you know what I mean? And that's why I'm thinking he's not crazy. He's literally saying this is the stats. This is the fact.
That's what's even more worrying, though. That's what's even more worrying, the fact that he genuinely believes this and is actually serious about it. Like, that's the most worrying part, to be honest.
I think the most worrying part is that they were able to do it regardless.
But they're taking the power back, aren't they? They're taking the power in football away from the likes of UEFA and the likes of FIFA. The danger is if you put those 6 men around a big table and give them all the power in football, you might as well lock up the gates and go home because they don't understand the game. It's all done on the sly. Perez, you know the story about Real Madrid's training ground years ago. Yeah. So they've got no ideas anymore. They've got no little things like that. They don't get the debt written off because football's more scrutinised now. So chasing all the big players over the years and spending silly money's caught up with them. He is a desperate man. He is absolutely scared to death of what's going to happen to Real Madrid. And he saw a vehicle to change the landscape. But even if everybody signs up and they get their £350 million, the rule in the league was you could only spend 55% of that money. So made you laugh that Spurs sacked Mourinho because they thought they were getting £350 million to spend and they didn't want to give it to him. Now the league's collapsed, they've got to pay him off. So
30 million.
They're just a banter club, aren't they? You just have to laugh at that. That's the most Spurs thing in the world to do, isn't it?
It's that's, do you know what? Let's talk about the clubs now, right? Steve's brought Tottenham up, right? Now,
Can I just say something first, Bob?
Go on, Ryan. Yeah, of course. Go on.
Is that in a weird way? I actually think that what's happened over the last few days is actually a really good thing for the long term. In terms, I think it's completely eliminated a possibility of this ever happening again, because obviously this has been mentioned every so often for a long time over the last few years, and they're never going to get. This is the closest they've ever gotten to doing it. They'll never get closer to doing this, I believe, because they've seen the fact it got shut down completely in literally 2 days. Just less than 2 days. I just can't see this European Super League ever happening again. You might see some sort of similar thing happen maybe in the future and being talked about, but nothing like this I think will ever happen again. And also I think that in a weird way, it could actually tempt our owners. I'm just talking about our owners here, to be fair, to maybe sell not in the near future, but at some time in terms of when FSG came in 2010. I think it's obvious that their long-term goal and long-term dream was to do this, was to make this essentially America in a way, an American sport in a way, make it a franchise sport. And the fact that that isn't going to happen, their long-term dream is essentially dead in the water. Like, what's kind of in it for them now in a way? Do you get what I mean?
No, 100%, and that's why, like, but see, like, I'm with you, like, 100%. I'm with you guys, 100%, and I just think that money talks, guys. You know, like, and we forget that FIFA and UEFA are probably just as bad. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So, like, it's like literally FIFA and UEFA, I dare say, are the best out of the bad bunch in this, right?
That's
They're
lesser of two evils.
Well, Bobs,
So, like,
Bobs, the thing about this is that the reason why this was just never going to fly is because they violated the fundamental aspect of the sport, which is competition. That's really what everyone can hold hands and say this is not going to fly. This is why a lot of people are saying this thing is dead. Personally speaking, I think the way they're formatting it is dead, but the idea is not necessarily the worst idea. They just have to input the element of competition there that gives it an advantage over the Champions League, because people are like, okay, why this Champions League? What are you going to create that's going to be better than the Champions League, but also make competition be a key factor of it? Now, the problem is, because they violated it, obviously it wasn't going to fly, but they are onto something. I want to talk about Perez. So just to give context, I know that Steve talked about how you know, the financial aspect of things and how COVID has affected, you know, a lot of sports clubs, to be honest, not just football. So look at it this way. We've talked about the most exciting league in Europe. It's the EPL. It's been that way for the past 10, 15 years. Let's be honest. Spanish league, it's either Barcelona or Real Madrid. We haven't seen those teams come fifth or sixth. They're in the Champions League every year. They're always like top 2, top 3. So I think all these top clubs that have come together, there are a few that I'm questioning, like Arsenal or Tottenham, to be honest. But like all these top clubs that have come together and signed up to this, like the owners, just to be specific, the owners that signed up to this, it's just like, okay, it's, by the way, it's very American. The way, the idea of it.
Business though, isn't it? Though
it's good business. It's very American in the sense that, like, what would people want to watch essentially? But they forgot that people would love to watch PSG versus Liverpool or Real Madrid versus Liverpool or Man United, like on a consecutive basis, especially if it's high quality. But it makes no sense if you lose and you don't lose. Like the aspect of fanhood, we have the ups and fanhood is exciting because we know that we could lose, but when we win is because there's an environment that's like the players are playing in an environment where it's not planned.
Yeah, but
the moment when we start to feel like things are planned or things are organized, then there's no fanhood. It's like a friend. It's like a glorified friendly, isn't it? Like, even if you lose, you don't really lose. I get that. Okay.
They just want to turn it into NBA. They want to turn football into the NBA. Where
that's what it was. And do you know the funny thing?
30 games a season, win 3. But your owners still bank $1 billion. That's the top and bottom of it. That's where it starts and ends.
But Steve, even with the NBA, there's competition there. There's no such thing. I mean, yes, it's tilted towards some elites, obviously always making money and always getting the best players. But they still, once or twice, you have the underdogs that will come and enter the playoffs.
That's the drafting system, isn't it? That's where they get the drafting system in to bring the best
Exactly.
But you know what, guys? Yeah.
If you don't have that football, you've got the teams that will win the European Super League every year because they're right at the top, and the other 15 teams, bar the 5 invitationals, their chairman would be happy just to take the money, and that's where it's wrong. That's where you desensitize the competition. You take that out of the equation, and that's not what football is all about, is it?
But you know what, lads? You know what blows my mind is how do I'm still puzzled to this day. How do you, as an owner, you're running a club, like an entire ecosystem of a sports club, and you think you can force your way? Like, when you actually get the Super League, you need your players and your coaches to freaking play, to actually want to work. How do you not have a way of getting their input to the point where, you know how silly it looked that clubs are saying, you know, Man City and Man United are saying, oh, we're in the Super League. And then later on, they're like, oh, stakeholders in the club are like, oh, well, are we in the Super League? I didn't know. What? How do you feel?
Yeah,
I don't like it. I'm not going to play.
I'm going to get you to come in, right? But look, the reason what I'm saying is that, like, we've seen it from the fans' point of view, yeah, but I'm thinking, yeah, if you're the man that owns this club, yeah, and you're Liverpool, you've just lost the league, okay, respectively to Man City, that's going to happen. Champions League, unfortunately, you're not going to the final. There's a big ask on you right now to say you're going to have to invest because you need to invest.
No, but let me stop you before you go on. The position that we're currently in is your fault, Abby. You have a large bear to you can't just, like, you have the responsibility. You failed to invest in a team that won the Premier League. You didn't invest adequately at the time. So now we are in a position that you have put us in. Carry on. I just wanted to make sure that you gave that enough gravitas. Like,
no, 100%.
It's not like, oh, we've been feeding the club, doing everything.
No, 100%. But like, that's what I'm saying, because like he's probably thinking, well, I don't really have to invest if I get attached to the Super League. And I got to ask a question. Here's a curveball. Did anyone watch Leicester against West Brom tonight? Yes or no?
I watched it until 3-0, then I turned it off.
So the reason I'm asking is because, like, I'm a football fan, so I watched it. But when it got to 3-0, I was thinking, this game's dead. It's done, you know? But then I would have probably carried on watching it if it was like 1-0 to West Brom. And part of me's thinking, if Real Madrid were playing AC Milan, I'd rather watch that. I would. But like,
I get that.
Even if it was Champions League, because the friendly, let's be honest, pre-season, I don't take the pre-season serious. Right, that's just some nonsense. But I was thinking to myself, I was like, this is a bit of a dead game. Leicester are going to beat them anyway. But I know the Premier League is the most exciting league because we can see on one day West Brom can beat Leicester. I get that and so on. But sometimes I'm thinking, they've got a point, no? Like, you know, to put all these teams together.
They're not, you know what it is,
off, bro.
Bitz, do you know what it is? They haven't got a point. Do you know why, right? It's elitist. And I'm not about that.
You're good.
You're all right.
That's what happens when you're eating Maltesers. The whole thing, real talk. Honestly, I'm telling you. Like, the whole thing is elitist. Do you know why? Because, like, football is tribal in its essence. You know that. Bitz, if you saw a man that is like, yeah, I'm a Man United supporter, and then the next day they were like, I'm a Liverpool supporter, what would you instantly think of their character? You know, like, forget football. You know what I mean? You probably wouldn't even talk. You see what I'm saying? It's tribal. So, like, you happen to be a fan of Man United, and I happen to be a fan of Liverpool.
Yeah.
That means something to me. My own reasons are my own reasons. Vinci's are his own, Ryan's are his own, Steve's are his own. That is just how it is. We happen to be that. I could very easily have been something else, but I happen to be a Liverpool fan. And I personally have a lot of respect for other people, like, you know, the granddad who's been a Leicester fan for time, or who's been a West Brom fan, who educates his sons and their family who are West Brom, because that's the tribalism that's in them. Let's not be so like elitist. So it's like, well, it's just our club and it's just our club, because that's what kills football. Generally, the pyramid that football sits on at the moment, as mad as it is, a West Brom could be in the Champions League. There is that scope, and without that, you're killing the very roots of the game in which we love. And 100%. So, like, do you know what I mean? And Bitz, if it was your birthday every single day, how long until it would get boring? Would you see the week out before you thought, oh, allow me, man, I just want a normal day? Tell me, how long? How long before Man United, Real Madrid, you'd be like, you know what? This is a preseason. This is a preseason. Because like it's the fact of the gravitas that the games have, the frequency that they have, you know, that's all part and parcel. It's this microwave era that wants everything now. I want to see the next big thing, and that's what it is. I'm telling you.
No, 100%. And that's why I said it, and I'm glad you said it like that, because you know, obviously, I'm here to be open-minded, throw a few curveballs and stuff. I know 100%. Like, I think, do you know what? Like, all jokes aside, guys, I've said what I've said, but like, when you really deep it, okay, they've literally said, right, we're just going to put all the best teams in one league. You can't get relegated, so it doesn't matter. And you know, if you deep the format, I believe even if you came on top of that, you don't necessarily win the league. No. You have to go into like a playoff or some sort. That's what I was reading, some format. So
it's like Steve said, it's like basketball. It's like the basketball.
Yeah. So it's a. I mean, it's a fantasy,
and you know what? Can I just say another thing as well? They are real cheeky bastards, because they try and give this. Oh, we're gonna have all this money and it's gonna trickle down, and you know what will happen, right? You're talking about Leicester and West Brom and how you were like struggling, yeah. We would have 350 mil and we would rape the league. All of the good, all we would do is absolutely pillage the league. So then you'd be watching Leicester and West Brom, who aren't in the Super League, and it would be a harder watch, because that's how they would.
I just think they should just need to, like, regardless if you're the big six, right? Okay, say you're the big six, just invest and buy better players. Literally, because
but that takes actual nous, a bit of risk, a bit of like, do you know what I mean? Like, nah, man. Why, when you can just create this thing and just sit there and then every year, like, that's what I'm saying. And that's why we have, if what you say is right, is what Roman does, is what like Man City do. Do you know what I mean? And create a wage structure. That's why, because do you see what I'm saying? Yeah. But our they ain't on that. That's too much. That's too long. That's too much work.
So Bobs, what's interesting is that comment by Daniel Tyrell, right? It says the issue is it's not the best teams, right? It's that he says Inter's been knocked out of the group stage in the last two Champions League campaigns. Milan haven't made the Champions League since 2011, 2012. Arsenal, I agree, are ninth. Spurs, the biggest achievement. Like the thing that makes this discussion about setting up a league like this is how do you? I remember, Bob, when we talked, we're like, what is Arsenal doing there? Like,
look, I can't believe
that. Teams like Ajax aren't.
We're like, what's Tottenham doing there? So the difficulty in determining what?
They're influencers. That's all they are. Influencers.
That's what I'm saying. So it's like we look at Arsenal and we're like, okay, let's hold on to the Henry times and those times where they had some success and let's be real. If we look at the last 10 years, they have no business being in there. But that's the thing, deciding on which the best teams are. That's the problem here. And that's what the competition, brings. Competition each year changes that title of who the best team is.
Okay,
Liverpool
right now,
was the best team last year. This year, they're not the best team this time. So it's tough. That's why you have to allow that. My only issue with this Super League thing, and I told Bobs this, is the competition aspect being thrown away. Otherwise, there's some other things that it would have been interesting that it would have opened up, obviously in a different format. It would have opened up a lot of different. It's a all affecting from top to bottom. It would have opened things up. It would have opened how kids see football. It would have opened how players would put effort in to try and get into these big clubs. It would change everything. Also, it might be some people are not interested again in football. It's big, but for me, I like the fact it came out the way it did because one, there were a lot of things that were learned. That one, football is for the people, and fans on paper have always been kind of like, oh, we need them, but they don't really have a voice. We all feel that way. Let's be real. Like fans are there, they pay, they enjoy it, but they don't really have a say. It's different. The fanhood I've learned in UK is very different from the fans in the US and their sports club. And the influence that everybody else has had in terms of even Boris Johnson comes out to give a statement. So it's like football is just, it's more than just a
listen,
sport.
Boris Johnson is a pagan, so
but it's like
I'm not giving that man any credit for doing anything because he came out. Literally, not giving him any credit because he came out. He only came out because he probably wasn't even on the deal. Do you know what I mean? Like some agent or something. Literally, like
because they forgot him in the deal.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, but guys, all jokes aside, who does make up the European Super League? Like right now. The big giants. In fact, before I ask this question, let me read some of the comments. I do apologize, guys. Thanks for joining us. This decade is making top four. That's the annoying thing. Those are not the 12 teams in Europe, only the richest. Yeah, good point. Vibes FC. Daniel Levy's trying to redeem his Make-A-Wish Foundation coupon for the ESL. Bocce. Nottingham Forest has to be there. Daniel Tyrell. Boris gave a statement because EPL is one of the biggest exports. He doesn't care about no fans. Of course he doesn't care about no fans.
Yeah,
this is the same guy that told you to wash your hands and sing happy birthday and people will die. Like, come on. Guys, who is the top 10 big teams right now? And I'm not talking riches. Okay? I'm talking teams right now.
Good luck, guys, doing this.
Well, the top 10 would be, it depends what you've got to go off revenue and you've got to go off fan base, you've got to go off size of club. So
it's a lot of different.
Barcelona from Spain.
Okay.
In England, there's 4 in England that make the top 10 in terms of those things. That would be Liverpool, Manchester United, Chelsea, and Manchester City. Because if Manchester City win the Champions League this year, that club will blow up massively.
Yeah, it goes up. Yeah.
I think Man City are in there anyway.
No, but Man City have got a whole country that funds them. So yeah,
exactly
they're there.
Right, yeah. So Bayern Munich would be there.
Wait, Steve, you said who are the English clubs you listed again? You said Man United, Man City, Chelsea, and Liverpool.
Liverpool.
4.
So 4.
Yeah.
PSG would be there.
PSG, Bayern Munich, Juventus. I think they're probably at 10 there, aren't they?
So okay. So what? Man U, Liverpool, Chelsea, Man City, Bayern, PSG, Juve, Real, Barca. So that's 9.
So 9. And then you probably look at Porto because they're massive.
I'd say Ajax over Porto first.
Yeah,
Ajax over Porto. Who we going? Who we guy? Ajax or Porto? Yeah. Ajax. Okay, cool, right. Now, it's interesting that was less than 5 minutes, right? So you then obviously when you dissect it, you've really got to ask yourself, and this is what I want to do. I want to go through the clubs now. Arsenal's case of being in this Super League, right? And this is not even to troll. Like, all jokes aside, this is not even to troll, yeah? What is the attraction to play for Arsenal? All jokes aside.
I get Arsenal's more than Tottenham's. I
No, no,
100%
but
get
no,
Arsenal more than Tottenham.
no, 100%. But like right now, what is the attraction to play for Arsenal? Oh, jokes aside.
Stadium, location, London.
Location.
The club.
No, but initially.
Yeah, but
what comes to
up
mind?
now, like Arsenal are nothing now. That's the thing, really.
No,
Yeah,
but
Like, they're not,
not
innit?
like that this 24 to that demographic that Perez was going for.
Yeah.
Arsenal are a wavy
Yeah.
club. They're the waviest club in the league. Like, let's not mess about in it. Like they've always been a trendy club. Do you know what I mean? And they are. Do you know what I mean? Look at their kits. Look at their collabs. Look at their the way they are. Like, they have. That's why they have such a following. Like, they're crap, cool, but like, do you know what I mean? Like, the club itself has an attraction because of the location and because of who. Like, you can't disregard that. Like, you know,
No, but that's
I do have to mention something. Yes, location is a big part, but let's be real. Arsenal really gathered their fans when I don't know if it was a conscious effort to get a bunch of Africans and the diversity in their squad, like they did. Their fight, like, for example, if you go in the continent like Africa, it was that period where they had Lauren, Kanu, a bunch of Africans, Eboué. That's when they really captured. Arsenal is an African club.
As dead as they are, they're still the biggest club in London. Let's not mess about, innit? Do you know what I mean? So you can't disregard.
I ain't gonna lie.
No. I know what you're coming with, Steve. I know what you're coming with.
Like, do you know what I'm saying? This is what I'm talking. This is why I'm like, I can understand Arsenal a lot more than Tottenham.
Are they bigger than Chelsea?
Even the face you're making, Vinci, yeah, the face you're making isn't.
Are they bigger than Chelsea?
They are. They are. Continent-wise, they are, bro.
I think it's a good argument. I think it's a good debate.
No, but how? How are they bigger than Chelsea?
In accomplishments, no. But I'm telling you, like, they are. And even in accomplishments, they're still talking about. They are. I'm chatting shit. That's recency bias. I mean, they are still a bigger club than Chelsea. They are.
No, accomplishments, they're not, though.
Yeah.
Raiyaan, come in.
Only European.
I mean,
okay, right,
okay, like, I'm only doing it because I like slandering Arsenal in it, but like, these guys are about to play against a manager in the semi-final of the Europa League who's won more European trophies than them as a club. That's their ex-manager, and yet they want to join a European Super League. They're about to play one of their ex-managers who's won more European trophies than them, and they think they deserve a place in the European Super League. Like, come on now, innit? And as for Tottenham, don't get me started about them.
Yeah, 100%. But Arsenal, listen. But see, when I think of Arsenal, right? It's not just to me. What do you think of Arsenal? The first one that comes to mind is Kanu, Bergkamp, Henry, Tony Adams, flipping even Nigel Winterburn, that goal he scored against Chelsea from left back.
Mark Overmars.
Yeah, Mark Overmars, Vieira, Ljungberg, Wiltord. Do you know what I mean? Like,
Wiltord.
They've had ballers, and obviously for me, they've had loads of. But you see, Ryan, that's the thing. How old are you, Ryan?
That's what I'm saying.
I'm
it's
21.
all now.
See, right. You're 21. I'm 31. So I'm 10 years on you, right?
Yeah.
So that 10 years, trust me, dog. Like,
Bob, you forgot to mention that the appeal of Arsenal, especially back then, where there was a lot of competition for good clubs, when a top player is looking to sign, Arsenal's attraction was that they played Barcelona type of football in the EPL.
Yeah, that was it. Wenger was doing what Pep was doing.
Exactly. So that was the attraction. So if you enjoyed free-flowing, tiki-taka, movement, fluid football, you go to Arsenal in the EPL. You just don't get football like that. But that was the attraction. But what is the attraction in the last 10, 15 years?
See, this is where the debate comes from what Saint said, that in the last 15 years, Chelsea have been the most successful on the club. Yes. Okay. But are Chelsea a bigger brand than Arsenal?
No.
I think they are now.
No, they're not.
Why do you think so?
They are still not.
I think they are.
I don't think they are. I don't think they are. And this is me being honest. Like Chelsea, right? Chelsea what? Okay, let's be honest. They still have a 40,000 seat stadium. Okay, Cobham and stuff made you, but like as a brand,
As a
I mean,
brand,
as a
no,
brand,
bro.
Chelsea were doing, was it Auto Glass? I can't remember all the other
Yeah,
things they
bro.
had. They had Emirates at one time, didn't they?
Free,
Free,
like,
yeah. But like, I just when I think Chelsea, I think maybe I'm showing my age here. I'm thinking Viali, Zola, Andre
Dennis
Flo.
Wise.
They don't really shake my boots when I
Dennis
say
Wise,
Arsenal
they really
thinking
do.
Patrick
Trust
Vieira.
me.
Oh my good. Do you know what I'm trying to say? And that's just that. And they've got Arsenal have got history. I mean, Ryan, this is not me taking a dig at you or attacking you. I do
Yeah.
think though, because of the Arsenal you grew up on or seen now, that's why you think Chelsea, which is fair because that's
Yeah.
very, very, very fair. That's what you've seen. But for me, I'm thinking, as much as I don't like Arsenal, I'm still
Trust
thinking,
me.
well,
I'm just saying, like,
I've seen
honestly.
Arsenal score some goals from the goalkeeper to the to the end, and I'm like, people are like, oh, Pep's a genius, and I'm like, I've seen this before.
But boys,
Vinci, even
boss, to play
what's it called?
DA, the same way you're making the argument to Raiyaan that you've seen things and you talk about brand, but you're not really explaining what you mean by brand, because it's the same way Raiyaan can explain to you that the brand that he's seen with Didier Drogba and Mourinho's and all the trophies he's won in that, and the brand and the way Chelsea played football with Essienes and the magic they created at the bridge, for him, it could be as real and it could be the brand, because guess what? Arsenal were nowhere to be found then. And they won trophies. And they won the Champions League.
But then football's all about cycles, though, isn't it?
So all I'm saying is that if you're talking about brand, let's explain what we mean by brand. So if we're talking about heritage, right? And we can explicitly say, okay, is it trophies won in the past? Is it how the size over the sustainability result over the last 10, 20 years? Like, it's tough. I think we're being
There's an argument
biased.
to be made. There's an argument to be made.
I think we need to make this argument because I'm intrigued now, because what Raiyaan said, right, about Arsenal, but no, it's kind of got me thinking, like, okay, and I said what I said, obviously, and I know Steve's just sponging everything in, and he's going to come with the gospel. But Sonny's joined us. Big up to you, little bro. Sonny was playing football, guys. He's trying to get a game for Liverpool come pre-season. So
I don't even want to play for the club at this point, man.
We need him up front.
Him and Harvey. Is it Harvey Elliott? Is that his name? Him and you on the wing.
I ain't playing under these owners.
So listen, sorry. The question is, the statement was from saying that Arsenal are the biggest club in London, and they are bigger than Chelsea as a whole in every category. And we've heard an argument from Vinchi and Raiyaan saying they're not. Me and Vinci have been playing DA. I've went DA to say that Arsenal actually have a point of being the biggest club in London, and Vinci's went DA for vice versa. So to you, Sonny, I know you're a young man, okay, but you are a football man. Who would you say?
Yeah, you see, Chelsea got that Champions League, don't they? But I don't know if that's enough. I don't know if that's enough, because overall, I would say Arsenal. I just think I could say it's not by much, but I still think it is by quite a bit. I still think Chelsea have quite a bit to do to get to where Arsenal are.
But why? I want to know why.
Because the amount of years Arsenal have been this top team, I don't think Chelsea have been that near enough.
I think it takes longer than a decade for you to really be a force. That's why City are in that decade now. Do you know what I mean? Now we will see them, and then they will start to really pack out the stadium and be that. This is the first decade, or just over, that Arsenal haven't been the force that we've always known them to be. Do you know what I mean? So, like, that's why Ryan's like, well, nah, but we're like, well, because this is the first time. Do you know what I mean? These men are like, raw. Swear down like it's that long since we won Premier Leagues, because they have always been. As a Liverpool fan in London, trust me, I know. You know them ones there, because their mouth will chatting. So that's why I'm like, they do have a little bit to go. They have a little bit. Do you know what I mean? Like,
Go on, Ryan.
But,
Go on, Ryan.
obviously you say Arsenal are a bigger club than Chelsea, and I can understand that, obviously. But how long do you, the way these two clubs act and the way these two clubs have been, how long do you give it before Chelsea overtake them as a club?
So I think with the Champions League, look,
that's a good question.
it's a good question. It's a good question. It's a
That's
tough
a very
question.
real question because Ryan, that's the elephant in the room. Because a lot of us that have this nostalgia, when we have affiliations in our generation, we find it hard to let go of the things that we celebrated. But when you ask the question, what does it take for you to let go? We can't tell you the answer.
Yeah.
Do you know what? Okay, right. Okay. Chelsea won the Champions League, right?
This year, what if you won it this year?
Oh, this is tough. Steve, come on, Steve, come on.
I'll tell you this. If Chelsea win it again, this year, they're a bigger club.
Yeah, I think so as well.
That's all it took. You guys are making it sound like it was massive.
That's two. That's massive. That's bigger. It's twice.
Liverpool has won that twice easily, but yet we're still not rated as, by others, obviously not by us, by others as like not the top two.
This is a good question from Daniel Tyrell.
We are.
Why we are a big club? If it wasn't for our nostalgia, would Klopp have come to us? I mean, guys.
No. But wait, Liverpool is a different case because Liverpool is one of those that we do this and then we do that. Like it's the Champions League 2005 out from nowhere. It's a different environment, different set of fans, different stadium. It's a totally different thing.
Okay, Steve.
And we have our history, we have our heritage, we have cups, man. Like, let's be real. We have
Steve,
cups.
I'll let you wrap the subject up for between Chelsea and Arsenal.
I've waited a long time for this.
Sorry, I apologize, Steve.
No, you carry on. Gives me loads of food for thought, doesn't it? So, it is nostalgia. It is romance. So when these things are announced, and Arsenal are included, and we go, wow, Arsenal haven't won anything for ages. All the foreign continents, your Africans and all your Asians, take to the internet, start looking at the clubs. They get to watch Thierry Henry. They get to watch Dennis Bergkamp. They fall in love with Arsenal Football Club. So in 18 months' time, when it's pre-season in Malaysia and Arsenal turn up to play, the stadium is full. All of those people that spent their life watching them on YouTube because they don't have competitive football in their own countries to speak of, makes any sense to them. So they attach themselves to an English club. When Manchester City did their treble and Liverpool won the Champions League, all you saw from Manchester City fans was, why is nobody speaking about us? Mm-hmm. Because it was money generated. That's exactly the same situation Chelsea fans. So Arsenal captured the hearts and minds of footballers with French flair, with tactics, with Arsene Wenger's psychology and the way he wants to play football. Mm-hmm. Chelsea bought every single player that was available when Rio joined the club to stop other people having them. With that comes a bit of disrespect, to be fair. So what Arsenal have is a global audience of people that think that's just magnificent watching Thierry Henry play. And people like at Malaysia and places like that will go and watch Arsenal's trophy-winning teams because they're not good now, but because of what they did achieve, because of the beautiful football that they played, they just attach themselves to the football club. They're based in London. They've got a stadium that's almost NFL-like in the way it's laid out, similarly to Tottenham. So there's no reason for Arsenal to be excluded because it's a big draw and they'll put bums on seats. And when it goes virtual and everyone has to watch these games on the internet because you can't travel to Madrid one week and Milan the next week and then London the following week, and you have a virtual platform, Arsenal will capture a wide audience from far afield.
Bobs, I think Steve.
but like, I know.
Bobs, real quick.
Because he never really answered the question.
Wait.
He never really answered the
I
question.
know.
Vinci, can
Arsenal biggest for those reasons.
Vinci, can I explain my comments? The comments that I was
Okay.
making.
Wait. Before we lose Steve's comment, right? He mentioned something that is quite big. I think we don't look at Chelsea the same way because of how they got their rise. It's the Abramovich. So deep down, we discount them. We don't respect them the same way. It's the same way we don't respect Man City the same way because we know that they pump the money in. And that's honestly the truth.
It's the length. It's the length. I'm telling you, a decade isn't long enough.
Vinci, it's definitely the length, like Saint was saying, because we might insult Arsenal, we might say we'll talk about nostalgia, but you mentioned Istanbul 2005. But then if you go before Istanbul, apart from winning a treble in 2001, Liverpool weren't shaking any trees, but we were still the second biggest club in England, no doubt, and nobody would have argued with that. The reason because of what we did in the 70s and what we did in the 80s.
Well, I'm showing my age. I'm 84.
Everyone.
Shouldn't you be self-isolating?
Everyone respected that, and it's the same with Arsenal. Yes, Chelsea have been better in the last 15 years. Yes, Chelsea have won a Champions League, but Arsenal, there's three major competitions an English team could win: the FA Cup, the Champions League, and the Premier League. And also have way more Premier Leagues, league titles than Chelsea, and they're the number one holder of FA Cups.
Yeah, they love the FA Cup, man.
Hold on.
Vinci,
Daniel.
You know Liverpool got to double figures league titles first. Guess who was the second team to get there? Not United, it was Arsenal.
Daniel, you know Aston Villa has more trophies than Arsenal, right?
Trophies? Are you sure about that?
Are you sure about that?
European trophies.
You're right.
European trophies.
Let's VAR that. Let's VAR that.
Let's VAR that.
No.
Yeah, no. Not trophies in all. Not in all. No. European trophies.
Look it up.
Look it up.
Arsenal probably have more FA Cups than Villa have trophies.
Wait. Arsenal are the highest with FA Cups only.
Okay,
they're FA Cup winners.
Okay, but the Vinci, we can say only, but that's one of the major competition and English you can win.
I will knock them down.
And then Vinci, if you look at league titles, it's only Manchester United and Liverpool, the teams who are the two biggest teams in England, and we can't deny it.
Vinci.
Arsenal is not in the top 5.
Yeah, but Vinci.
Also third.
They're Premier League. They're Premier League. Vinci.
They've won the third most league titles.
So where's Chelsea in that then?
Hold on. Vinci, you can't tell a man whose Premier League cup is gold that they're not there. You can't tell a man that.
Okay, wait. How many Premier League titles have Chelsea won?
I'll find out for you right now.
More than Arsenal.
Thank you. Because I want
we're not doing Premier League titles. If we're basing teams on Premier League titles, then we can say we're as big as Blackburn.
Okay, fine. So Daniel, let's do overall trophies then. Overall trophies. Who has won more? Can we do that?
Well,
Chelsea have won 5 league titles. Man City have won 4 league titles.
What about Arsenal?
Arsenal right now, I'll tell you right now.
3 in the league.
3.
You're going to get proved wrong.
3.
They're not Premier Leagues. First top flight titles.
Arsenal have won a total of 13 league titles.
There you go then.
That's why I mean there's 3 teams.
Wait. 3 have came in the Premier League post 1992. So they're the 3rd most successful club in England in terms of league titles behind Man United and Liverpool.
So wait, Arsenal is the 3rd most trophies. I want to establish if Daniel is right. Trophies overall.
So your Aston Villa claim was
Bobs, I said overall trophies.
No.
Okay, how many? Okay, I'll find out right now.
Overall trophies.
Overall, okay.
Wow.
I'm gonna try and find out.
This is going to be fun when we get the answers, boys.
Look, Football Capital says Arsenal 31, Villa 20. You weren't even close, Vinci. You weren't even close.
Do we trust the football capital? I'm joking.
We don't trust you. We don't trust
Yeah,
you.
we trusting you.
Big
Oh
man.
my goodness. Okay.
Arsenal got an all-gold Premier League cup. No one has that. Like, no one.
Okay.
Like, you
Nah,
can't
don't big
discount
up
them.
that.
You can't
Don't-
rub
no,
them
just-
out.
Nah,
Can't
don't
rub
even
them
big
out,
up that
bro.
though. Like, I'm standing up for
You
Arsenal, but don't say
Guys,
that.
can I just bring some
You
bad
can't
news
rub
then?
it out. I don't listen. I don't get an erection over it like they do, but you can't rub it out. It's
You
like
can't.
it's fact.
You
No,
can't.
you can't. But
You
I
can't
would
rub
say
it
it's
out,
not an
bro.
extra Premier League title though.
I never said it is. I just said
Aston
that.
Villa
I
have
never
20,
said that. But I just
20
said that you
trophies.
have to give it the dues that it deserves.
Yeah.
Because
Boss, have
it's
you
not
found
like
the answer?
next man can
Am
say
I
that.
wrong?
No one can't. You know, everyone's there.
Glob,
Vinci,
I'm
you're
wrong.
more than
Okay,
wrong. You're more
I-
than wrong.
I
What's
take
the
the
answer,
L.
Glob?
I'm super wrong.
You
Okay,
are super wrong, bro.
I took the L.
No, Aston Villa have more trophies than Arsenal. No, wait. No, he's wrong.
Nah.
He's wrong. So this
What's
is
he
this
wrong?
is
Gotta
how it
stick up
goes,
your
guys.
cousin, man.
This is how it goes. Number one
Should I do the
is
research?
your club. Okay.
No.
Number two
No.
is the biggest club in England. 3 is Arsenal. 4 is Chelsea.
I don't trust Bob's research.
I'm not lying. I'm not gonna lie. Like what? I'm telling you right now. With the most
Vinci, I know Bobs, and Bobs will never put Liverpool on top of Manchester United
Yeah,
in
yeah.
anything.
No,
Exactly.
No.
Arsenal third.
No. Daniel,
Chelsea.
Man United has the most trophies in England. Let's stop that.
No, look, no. It's a weird one because I don't know if they actually count Community Shield, and I know you're gonna
It
throw
depends
that
on what you
literally.
include in it. That's the
Like,
thing.
because Liverpool, actually no, it's ourselves.
Yeah.
No.
No. We have 42. They have 43. The league
No.
took it over. Arsenal have 31. Chelsea have
Vinci,
24.
man, what are you so sad that
Aston
we're
Villa have
first?
20. So yeah, so no, literally, like Aston Villa are in the top 5, but Arsenal are the third winning, third best team winning. So yeah, Bocci was right. He got 31 right, 31 and 2.
Okay,
So,
I'll take the L,
so-
but Bobs, it took a while for you to get to that answer. Let me check myself. But
Yeah, no, but look, but that's why, because I know Villa have got
Put
a
some respect on Arsenal's name, man. They're a banter club now, but put some respect on Arsenal.
Yeah, I agree. I think before I came, Bob said
Man's not
something.
paying any respect to
I'm
that.
not as
Wild.
old as Bob's, but before Pep Guardiola came, if we were ever playing nice football in the playground, we'd always say we're playing like Arsenal. Before Pep Guardiola came, he was always playing the Arsenal way. If we wanted to play out from the back, we said, let's play like Arsenal. So, like, guys, we proper need to respect Arsenal. Like, at the moment, they're a banter club, of course, but in terms of history and stature, only United and Liverpool are bigger.
But
So we agree that
when people say that you should respect one club, but we're also when you say respect Arsenal more, we're comparing them with Chelsea, but you're also disrespecting Chelsea as well. Oh, it's just nobody's disrespecting Arsenal. Arsenal are trash right now. We all know that.
Vinci, you tried saying Villa had more trophies than Arsenal. That's disrespectful.
But wait, I'm their top 5. Would you have ever thought Villa was top 5?
I would have
a
thought
Champions
they
League.
never had. Yeah, trust
But
me. I
Vinci,
know that. I know Villa been
you didn't
doing
make
it.
that point. You said they were above Arsenal. You never said top 5, man.
No, I thought
lied.
they were. I really thought they were. Because they were
Okay,
really high up.
okay.
We know.
Bobs, you're Bobs.
Segue. Yeah, that's right.
I'm not respecting a club whose fans actually had the nerve to compare Arteta to Klopp.
Do you know what? I hear what you're
I'm not
saying.
being
Yeah.
I hear that, bro.
I hear that, right? I hear you. 100% hear you, but like
That's not the worst thing they've done, by the way, right?
dude, I was just about to say that.
Exactly.
Him doing that, bro.
The thing is, yeah, I think we've with the facts and the general view is that Arsenal are a bigger club than Chelsea, whether it be
I guess
trophies,
for now.
trophies, brand, stadium, and so on and so on. Now we need to talk about a certain situation, guys, that happened that went under the radar. Josie got sacked.
And imagine that
It's
didn't make the
non-Liverpool,
headlines.
I know.
How mad is that?
Yeah. Like
Mad,
all
isn't
jokes
it? That
aside,
is
Sonny,
mad.
come in, man. What, Josie got sacked. Is that stupid? Right now, before the
No,
cup
you know,
final?
I don't even know if I'm wrong with this, but I originally thought that it's because obviously Levy thought he was getting all this super money, and so they could kind of afford it. I don't know if it is that, but if it is, he looks like an idiot now, man.
Well, that's what I read. That's what I read.
What,
They
like, that's the
were
reason?
getting
Okay, but I also read that they had two different views on the direction to go with regards to running the club and leaving out some key players. And also, apparently, Jose did not value the final, the Carabao Cup. He didn't think it was that important. According
Yeah,
to
but
the report.
it's still he literally wins them, and without even trying.
No, but
That's what they said.
Yeah, but look. Other. By the way, Bocce, the football catapult, wants an apology, Vinci.
Oh yes, I apologize. I apologize to Daniel, Bocce, everybody else for my slander. Yes, it was wild. Raiyaan understands me in this situation. He said some wild shit too. So I find out.
Bringing others into it, yeah.
Yo,
All right,
guys, I've got some
Innit?
bad news, by the way, in a different subject.
Right.
what?
Apparently, Diogo Jota's injured.
No, it's not. Whoever starts
Apparently,
that
Diogo
rumor
Jota wasn't in training.
on Twitter.
These height, no, it's not. Don't talk.
Apparently, he wasn't training.
I hope that's lies.
Is it on
man.
Twitter?
You know what? I might just have a
No, I've
holiday.
just read
for
it. I've
this
just
season.
read it.
That news
You know
is so
what?
Apparently,
that news
he
is
wasn't
so
in training. He
powerful.
wasn't.
Okay.
in training.
Anyway.
Bring back the Super League. Forget Champions League.
You guys can deal with the Jota thing, but the last segment of this evening, Jose Mourinho and Tottenham. From a rival point of view, and obviously football fans, Sonny, I want you to go first. Jose gets sacked, obviously, and as you said, it was because of the potential investment they were getting. Also, they don't. He's getting 30 million paid off severance pay. I personally think they're stupid to do that, especially at the timing of the cup final. What's your overall thoughts on it, Sonny?
I don't even know. He must have been toxic, man. Like, those players must have hated him, because for him to go before a cup final, like Jose Mourinho going before a cup final, is mental. So I don't know what happened at that club, but there's loads of these situations that it could have been, and realistically, we probably will never know. So
Yeah.
Papilo, Daniel, what about you, man? Because I personally think, that was they're going to get slapped in the cup final now. Let's be honest.
they'll get slapped anyway, though.
Yeah, but
Yeah,
like,
do
do you know what I mean? But like, with Jose comes with they've got a chance. You know, you can never count them out. Ryan Mason,
Mourinho.
but I just think so. No, do you know what it is? Yeah, right. See with Jose, yes, he's toxic. Yes, he's UK Gold Entertainment. Yes, he has a media circus, but he wins trophies. Now, you know, I wasn't triggering any Tottenham fans when I said, "Oh, have your attacking football, but you still get the same result, no trophies." And Mason has had 2 games, and Jose had 18 months. And I'm like, yeah, but Poch had 5 years and still gave you nothing. So, as toxic as it was, surely, Daniel, they should have gave him to the cup final, no?
100%, because I feel like Daniel Levy watches football. We all watch football. We see what Mourinho has been like at Chelsea and Manchester United. Maybe the football wasn't attractive, but at Chelsea he won trophies. United he won trophies. To go from Poch to Mourinho, you brought him for trophies. You did not bring Jose Mourinho to be playing Barcelona football. You you brought Jose Mourinho to win trophies. He gets you to a cup final, a chance to win a first trophy since 2008, 2009. Whenever Woodgate scored that header and you sack him, for me it's nonsensical, to be honest. And it's kind of rich coming from Tottenham, saying that, oh, Tottenham play an attractive brand of football. I'm sorry, the only thing that can be associated with Tottenham is bottling. Like, Tottenham do not play this attractive style of football. For me, that's a complete and utter myth. Jose was brought in to win trophies, and he didn't give him time to win that. So for me, it was a daft decision.
Wait, Daniel Bobs, you guys have had, those electric cars, those remote control cars that use battery, right? Those toys. You turn left, turn right, right? Have you ever seen a battery that is been so used and then you start chewing it, right?
Hang on a minute. What do you do? I don't know about this.
I thought maybe Saints, you know what I'm talking about. Like you chew the battery just for some last juice.
Now,
I don't know about that. But
Jose Mourinho was the battery that Tottenham was chewing for the last juice. You guys say let him play, let him stay until the finals. And you guys are talking, he's a manager. If your players don't want to play for you, even if their players are trash, I'm sorry, you can't win anything if you're destroying your locker room. And that's what we're forgetting that Mourinho is doing these days more than winning.
But is he doing that, or were Tottenham players not good enough?
That's another thing I was just about to say. Tottenham players were not good enough as well, bro.
Yeah, because look, at Man United, I'm sure he wanted Lukaku to be what Kane was. 100%, and I think he wanted more from Paul Pogba. And
he said from earlier about Martial, and now everyone's coming around to what he was saying, bro.
Manchester United, he put Rashford on the left. Everyone wanted Rashford up top. Now Rashford is playing on the left. And Man United, before he got sacked, he wanted Harry Maguire next to Lindelof. What's Manchester United's backline? Harry Maguire next to Lindelof. What's Mourinho has done? No, I don't like Jose.
What about Luke Shaw?
He's right.
He's not.
What about Luke Shaw? What about Luke Shaw?
He said to everyone, Martial is washed, and Martial is washed now.
Yeah, but Vinchi, you said Luke Shaw, right? Vinchi, you said Luke Shaw, yeah? Now, check this out. Luke Shaw came out and said he wasn't in it. His mentality wasn't there. His attitude wasn't right. Everything he said, I was like, well, Mourinho was right then, because Mourinho was like, he doesn't want to play football.
Bobs, let Mourinho be a football consultant if what he's saying is right. Now, as a manager, you need to be able to gather your squad and manage. In Chelsea, he wins the title. Next season, he messes shit up. He goes to Man United, wins the Europa. Next month, he manages situations badly.
Tottenham would happily take that, though.
No, but they won't. It's toxic, boys. If he came to Liverpool, we'll be livid. Wait.
Do you know, like, I'm not gonna get. I understand, but we need to dissect it here.
We're not.
When you hire Jose, you back him. That's it. It's like look, literally.
I agree.
No, but hear me out. It's like this. If you go to a PT, for example, because you know he gets results, okay. Don't question it. Do what he tells you to do.
No, but
come the end of your 12
everyone
weeks,
was saying that Tottenham had the best transfer window, so he must have got backed.
But see, come on, let's.
Sonny, you're comparing that to
Sonny,
Tottenham not signing a player for 18 months. So, like, if the bar is so low, like, of course the transfer window is going to be good, but for where Tottenham want to go to, it's not good enough.
He openly said he wanted Skriniar. And he wanted Milica Savic and stuff. He's not stupid. He went in there and said, I need this player that can be able to accommodate.
He got Vinicius and Doherty, bro. Relax,
come on.
Wait. Bob's saying, you guys are acting like our own managers don't go and sit and say they want Mbappe and all these other players. It's not all the players you want you get. That's the reality.
No, but what I'm saying, what I'm saying,
Vinchi, if we didn't get Van Dijk, are we winning the league?
Realistic. We're very realistic. Tottenham were going on, as like man said, like they won the league and their team was a mazine. Like, you know, them ones that where our squad is worth $1 billion, over $1 billion. Then they started to realize very quickly that, like when you deep it, we don't even really have that much of a squad. Like I said, Doherty.
It was
the right back that they got that is washed sometimes. Aurier.
Yeah.
Well, when you actually deep the team, you're like, wow, you still got Winks. You still got man like Winks in there and that.
Right, the other day outside the stadium, they run a little band. They were having a little concert outside the Tottenham stadium when they were meant to have like a riot.
Yeah, but this is what I'm saying. So where I'm trying to go out with this,
Listen, I've got to bounce real quick, but listen, guys.
Take care, bro. Good night, man.
Take care.
But listen, what I'm trying to say here, right? Like, and yes, we can say Jose's this, Jose's that, yeah. But like, I thought it was telling that Kane came out, Son came out, Moura came out, and Højbjerg came out saying thank you for everything, blah blah. Those are okay. Apart from Moura, like 3 of his best players, and it just shows you. But with Jose, that I think it's all about attitude and accountability of the players. Because I think to myself, if Jose walks into this locker room, all right, and I'm one of the players, I'm thinking, this guy had Samuel Eto'o playing right wing back. This guy had Milito banging in goals, who was like an average striker. Diego Milito. He's won trophies, so I'm thinking he's won everywhere he's went. I'm just going to do what he says to the best of my ability. Now, that being said, okay, for Tottenham to compete or to get into top 4, you do not sign Doherty. You do not sign Vinicius. All jokes aside.
Well, for me at the time, it looked like it was good enough. That's the thing with me. Like, obviously, we now know it's not. But I thought when they made those signings in the start of the season, I thought they were. Well, they were in the title race. Like, they literally were in the title race.
I could like Tottenham went top of the league for a bit.
Yeah, exactly.
So I have 2 things, guys, and I do e-bobs to some degree. So Mourinho walks into Tottenham's dressing room, has a look at his players, thinks about his style of play. And by the way, that style of play has been in the Premier League for 15 years, but all his opponents have figured it out. Has a look at the squad he's got available, has a look at who he can sign, gets those 2 players, can't deliver what he wants to deliver because the players are not good enough to give him that. The central defence was absolutely dreadful. Sanchez and those guys, not good enough. He hasn't evolved as a manager in terms of tactics, in terms of
which
game.
I agree. I agree with you on that.
So he's been figured out. So it's not difficult to set up against Jose Mourinho because he's going to be cautious first and foremost. That's his mantra. He had Cristiano Ronaldo went backwards on the right wing as well, covering the right back. So that's what he does. Football's moved on, and unfortunately, Mourinho has been left behind by the evolution of football. Given the players he's got Spurs, absolutely no chance to accomplish anything. So the story that I heard is after the European game, sat on the bus on his own, the board had made their mind up he was going to go there.
Say that again, Steve. Sorry. Say that again.
Do you remember the picture of the papers where he sat on the bus waiting for the team after they got beaten in Europe?
Yeah.
That's when the board decided that was enough. That was time for him to go.
But do you not think though, right? Like, guys, hear me out here. This is my pitch to you, yeah. This is my pitch to you. Vinci, your phone. Put it back where it was, man, because it wasn't making any background.
But right now it's okay, right?
No. Okay, it's okay now. No, it's went back to bad.
Are you sure it's mine?
Yeah. Okay, cool. So hear me out here, guys. You want to win trophies, you hire Jose Mourinho, right? All jokes aside. Okay, you get knocked out of Europa and stuff. But does Levy, or if you're the owner, do you not sit down with the manager and be like, what's actually going on? Who do you think is not playing for you? Yes, I get it. You can't replace 6, 7, 8 players, get rid of them because the manager is the cheapest thing and the manager always goes. But sometimes, guys, don't we have to literally just say these players are not good enough?
No, I think he did do that. Remember in the documentary with what's his name? Danny Rose. And Danny, and everyone was saying, "Oh, why didn't that to Danny Rose and everything?" But he did technically do what you just said.
But this is what I'm saying. And like he and you looked at the documentary. Dele Alli's lazy, not interested. You saw what they were trying to do and stuff, and you only saw Harry and Son doing extra stuff to get better and to actually try and up their craft. I just think to myself, I watch Tottenham and I think to myself, right, without being derogative to them, I think to myself, what were you really expecting? All jokes aside. Because he has got you into a cup final, regardless if you hate the man or not. He got you to a cup final, okay? A cup final that the last time you won was in 2008, okay? You've played all this good football, champagne stuff, and won nothing. There's a reason, for example, I say this all the time, there's a reason why teams hire Sam Allardyce, and there's a reason why teams hire Mourinho. Now, on that, guys, I'm asking you, you're the CEO, you're the owner, right? Whatever. You're hiring Jose to come and win you a trophy, why are you not backing him financially?
I think they kind of were. I think we're being so harsh when we say he's not getting backed. Like,
But Sonny,
I don't
come
think
on,
he's
man.
that bad.
Yeah, I
You
agree,
really
Sonny.
think so, Sonny? He never wanted Bale. That was obvious. That was a PR move. That was stupid.
Yeah,
I
but
mean, I do
Bale's
agree
similar
with
to
Sonny in
Mourinho. Like, he'll
terms
come
of
in and do a job.
people were saying how good a transfer window they had. I do agree with Sonny. Like they
I
brought a
agree
lot
with
of
Sonny.
players, and people were actually talking about the best.
Yeah, but we
windows.
said that about Chelsea,
So
and they brought 8 players in. Look what happened.
Nah, Lampard tax. Sorry, Lampard tax. That was
Yeah, that was
very,
Lampard tax.
very
Look at
much
how
so.
well Tuchel's doing now.
And also don't forget that Chelsea were banned for one transfer season, so they equivalently went mad for one
But
season.
Tottenham
Vinci-
Tottenham might have been as well, to be honest, because they didn't spend.
Yeah, exactly, Vinci. If you're going to use that excuse with Chelsea, we have to use it with Spurs. Spurs went 18 months without signing a single player. So if that's the bar, of course this transfer window is going to be amazing.
But Daniel, my thing with the Jose thing is, I think Levy made a mistake. When you select a player or a coach, you have to think about the fit with your culture, right? When Jose went to Man United, I knew everybody knows that he wasn't a Man United coach. That's not the culture type of thing.
Yeah.
And yet, I get what Bobs is saying, you back him. But realistically speaking, right, even with big clubs, you can't just spend, it's not Abramovich money like that to just spend.
So why'd you hire him then? On his previous record, he still didn't win trophies.
That's the question. That's the question, isn't it? Why hire him?
Yeah.
But Bobs, my thing is this, though. Don't forget that Mourinho, even when he goes to Manchester United, at this point, his reputation is quite tarnished from coming from Chelsea. So it's his chance to revive himself. So he's willing to be quiet and take a cut just to get an opportunity to go back into a top job and coach again. Don't forget that. He was a pundit for a while. So the whole thing of when you get Mourinho, you splash the money. He came from Porto. Nobody splashed money at him there. He was at Real Madrid. Nobody splashed money even at Real Madrid because obviously Real Madrid is Real Madrid. Inter Milan, they didn't splash money for Mourinho. So let's not act like Mourinho has gone to different clubs and they've thrown money at him and he's gotten wherever he wants.
What we need to say really quickly is when they appointed Mourinho, no one even said like, "Oh, why is he not?" Because you need to look at the name Mourinho. Like he's a big name and it made sense at the time. So I think we need to give them a bit of fairness in terms of that.
Of course, and I was doing like a show on Jose a couple of like way before this, and somebody pointed it out to me. In the 21st century, he spent the most money out of every single manager.
Wow.
So yes, he might not have splashed money like great amounts of money at Real Madrid, but if you accumulate them together, he is a manager that spends money. And with almost every single manager, apart from maybe Arsene Wenger at Arsenal, you need players to succeed. You need players to win the big trophies. And that's what people are measuring Jose Mourinho on, winning the big trophies. And obviously, I agree with you, Vinci. I don't think Spurs should have hired him. I don't think United should have hired him. But I do feel like sacking him now doesn't make sense because you know what you're getting with Jose Mourinho. You know the football you're getting. You know the players you need. Give him time. Give him the players.
But Daniel, here's my thing. He's only had two transfer windows, right? And the January transfer window, that's tricky. Nobody really goes out and buys players like that.
Yeah, but Vinci, before you finish, remember this is COVID season. So surely this should have just been a pass.
So also nobody's going to be spending during COVID season as well.
So this should be given a pass,
right? I get what you're saying, but Bobs, you have a body. The inside body of Tottenham is deteriorating, and this is the problem. When you hire Jose, you're supposed to turn a blind eye when these deteriorating things are happening. You back him. And in the summer transfer, you give him the players he wants and you remove the players he doesn't want. Because if you keep the players he doesn't want, because he's very polarizing, then they affect the locker room. This is why Pogba wanted to go. But now, look, Pogba is still there. and Pogba is different. I don't want to use Pogba too much because Pogba is polarizing as well. But my thing is with Jose, it's the antics. It's the if Jose had a Klopp kind of character, guess what? Even if he wins or loses Carabao, he still stays and he gets 2 more transfer windows to make an impact. Because guess what? Klopp didn't win in his first season. But why are we expecting Jose to be winning trophies? I know that's what he's been doing, but he's in Tottenham. Why are we expecting him to win in the first season?
No, I
It's
don't
because
think
of his
it's
mouth.
just to do better than
biggest
he's doing.
problem.
Yeah,
His
but
biggest problem right now.
Steve, I'll just get you to conclude with the final word.
His biggest problem right now that I see is when his team loses, he stands in front of the cameras and he says, "Same players, different manager," which is basically saying, "I don't trust my players; they don't deliver." I've always been an advocate that if things go wrong at a football club, the buck stops at the manager's door because he hires the players, puts together the game plan, he motivates the players, and if they're not delivering, they don't play. Are you telling me Dele Alli hasn't played for 6 months because Mourinho just doesn't like him? End of story. So you can't throw your players under the bus. You just can't do that. He lost the dressing room, and that's the reason why he's moved him out.
That's exactly it, Steve. Honestly, that's and you can't ignore that as a hierarchy. If you're in management, you can't ignore that. Your fans are making noise and things are going wild. You have to do something about that.
The fans will turn on the manager before they turn on the players. So don't stand in front of the cameras and dish your players. What you need to do is do what Klopp does and do what Guardiola does and say, "This is on me, not the players. This is on me."
Take it. And the thing is, there've been reports that, we know that players these days are more sensitive. They're younger, they're more sensitive than back in the day, than Mourinho is used to. So they're watching these interviews. They're watching how he's throwing them under the bus. Reporters are purposely asking him questions about specific players, and he's throwing them under the bus. So they're like, okay, he's not protecting us. Why should I go and sweat and die for him on the pitch when he's not doing this? He's gonna leave before I do because my contract is 2-3 years. So that's just the reality.
Thing is, he's a very intelligent man. You would actually think he'd have the wherewithal to say, "I tried this towards the end of Chelsea. I tried this towards the end of Manchester United. Where does it get me?" He went into Tottenham. He was bright and breezy. He was good fun in his press conferences. Same story was when he went to Manchester United. And then the players can't deliver what he wants, so he throws him under the bus. So he costs him his job, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Listen.
I think with Mourinho,
Brian, quick, because I'm careful with time. Like Daniel's in Switzerland, so it's quite late out there. So and Vinci's in Canada. So
I think.
So come on, wrap it up, G.
Yeah, I think with Mourinho, I mean, he's just been gone for ages. I mean, when he's not winning games and getting results, it's literally horrible because it's not as if there's good football to fall back on. And like when at United, when you're dropping Paul Pogba, who to me is the best midfielder in the world, for McTominay, like, I mean, come on, innit? Like, you're kind of losing your mind, innit? Like, at the end of the day.
And listen, at the end of the day, gentlemen, this has been another great episode on Kopping Mechanism. Big shout out to everyone. Shout out Saint for coming on. Big up to him. Steve, you know the household rules, my friend. Please let the people know where they can find you and subscribe to you.
Yeah, Red Sky Pods. Give us a follow, guys. Got a YouTube channel as well. Plenty of content coming out there, 4 or 5 shows a week. Just signed up Zane Talk Sports. She's got a show on twice a month. So, guys, come and have a look and see what we're doing.
Brilliant. Papilo, Daniel.
Like you guys probably saw today, I was a Liverpool fan and saw in Liverpool. My page, No Agenda Podcast, we're launching this summer. We're just going to be a podcast where we come with no agendas, just talk straight facts. And guys, smash the like button and please support everyone on this show. Been a pleasure, lads.
Amen. Papilo, man, every Thursday you're welcome, bro. Literally. Seriously. Sonny, I'll tell you about Sonny. Sonny is the football addiction. at LFC Sonny on Instagram and Twitter. Please follow up. You can catch him on the Football Terrace and other people's shows. Raiyaan?
Yeah, you can find me on Sarcasm City on like the Q&As and stuff. Make sure you watch last night's Q&A. Actually, that one was hilarious, man. Like that one was funny last night. I'm not gonna lie. Also, it's been good having Daniel on as well because it's been a while since me and Daniel did a show. Like we always get into arguments. We don't agree on a lot of stuff, and we have some arguments on Twitter, but it's all good, bro.
I feel like a poor man's Mane and a poor man's Salah going on or something. Do you know what I mean? Like we used to right now. So is it something like Salah doesn't pass you the mic or pass you the ball? I feel which one is it?
Yeah, Ryan gets all the credit and I do all the work in the background.
Listen, gentlemen, thank you so much. People, thank you for engaging with us. Tomorrow is Friday. In some countries that the gentlemen are in, already is Friday. So, listen, good night. Peace and love to you. Have a great weekend. And to those who are celebrating, Ramadan Mubarak to you all.